Welcome to your 4 to 5 on this Monday. I'm Sydney here with Eric and Hunter. Good afternoon to the both of you.
Starting to the week.
That's right.
And it's dry out there.
We'll continue with dry conditions. We have a small chance coming up toward the end of the week. We'll talk about that in a minute.
All right. Well, first, our top story this afternoon on the 4 to 5. Check out this massive 3-alarm fire. Several crews from across the state helped battle the blaze that brought down part of the former Culp Weaving Mill in Graham.
Here's what it looked like this morning. You can still see some of that smoke coming out of the partially vacant building. We've been on top of this story all day. WFMY News 2's Amber Lake joins us live now with the updates from officials.
Guys, we talked to Fire Chief Tommy Call just a bit ago, and he told me that they brought in some drones with thermal imaging to kind of detect where the hot spots were. And you can see behind me, they have been continuing to spray those areas until these hot spots basically burn themselves out. Now, the fire has been contained and the preliminary investigation has started. Someone who lives in this area sent me this video earlier today of the fire from late last night. If you remember, we were just here a little over a year ago after another large fire started. Chief Cole says the building has been partially vacant. Some of it was even being used for storage. Officers did set up a temporary shelter at the Graham Recreation Center for those living in this area. I talked to Graham Mayor Jennifer Talley, who had been out here for hours this morning. She says, unlike the fire last year, crews did have adequate amounts of water to get the fire under control today. 4 full streams stayed on the flames, but Mayor Talley says it looked like it was just getting bigger and bigger.
That was very, very scary because there was some firemen up on a ladder right over top of when that wall collapsed. And when it collapsed, just a huge plume of embers and smoke and heat. You could feel the heat all the way over there. And so just very dangerous for our firemen.
Now crews are going to stay out here all night and into tomorrow just to keep spraying those hot spot areas and make sure they don't pop back up. Thankfully, so far there have been no injuries in this, but this building is considered a total loss. Live in Graham, Amber Lake, WFMY News 2.
Wow, Amber, thank you. As the investigation into the Graham fire plays out, it's important that you are aware of the fire dangers during these winter months. Just this weekend, a High Point family was displaced by a fire. Officials say no one was hurt, but their home was deemed inhabitable, and they say it could have been worse. According to the National Fire Protection Association, home heating equipment is the leading cause of home fires in the United States during the colder months. While it wasn't the case in High Point, experts recommend you keep anything that can burn at least 3 feet away from heating equipment. Never use your oven to heat your home, and remember to turn portable heaters off when leaving the room or going to bed. Test smoke alarms at least once a month.
You can all learn of the fire safety tips and training for firefighters by signing up for the Greensboro Fire Citizens Academy. After a successful first year, the Greensboro Fire Department is bringing it back next year. The academy is designed to teach you about how the fire department works and how you can respond to fires if you find yourself in that situation. It's an interactive program that allows you to get information and hands-on training. I took part in this year's academy and spoke to a couple of attendees about their experience.
I learned about every aspect of the fire department. I even learned about services I didn't even know that they had to offer.
You learn a lot. You learn a lot. And by example, if tomorrow I have an emergency or I have to call 911, I know how it works, how I can help, and how I can help them.
There's a lot of stuff that the firefighters do every single day to make our city safe.
The program lasts about 8 weeks and classes are usually at night. The applications for next year's academy open in May. I know you guys have heard me talk about this a lot, but I did learn so much. There's just, every single department from our hazmat team being nationally ranked, and they actually teach everyone across the globe how to do things. I thought that was crazy. It's just a really good learning experience.
I would do that in 2 seconds. That would be so fun to understand how they. I've done some series with firefighters before and have gone and slept at the firehouse with them and gone out on calls. I did that for a weekend, but that type of hands-on training you don't get very often.
Yeah, I first remember when they were talking about bringing it because it was brand new. I did a story with them, and you could just tell about the excitement and the willingness to form those deeper relationships with the community, because Being a firefighter is a tough job. I mean, obviously you don't have to be a firefighter to know that. And so this is a cool opportunity to see what they do, as well as try to find some techniques where you can protect yourself in your own home as well too.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's not just this. You can also do police. You can do, there's another new one that just came out, so look for it.
Investigate, yes,
Yeah.
and find out. All right, let's talk about our forecast too, and I'm gonna make some changes to my weather computer over here, so I'm throwing my director a curveball, sorry. All right, so we're looking at some changes coming up for us. I guess the biggest issue would be the fact that we're hoping for rain. We want that rain, right? So when you look at the temperatures across the area, most of it right now in the low 60s, not all that bad. I mean, this is not uncomfortable. This morning, it was right at or a little below freezing for most places, but we've warmed up nicely to that 63 in Burlington and Winston and High Point, 61 in Greensboro. Dropping down to 37 tonight, mostly clear skies. Tomorrow again, another mostly sunny day, really nice and comfortable and in the low 60s. Not bad for fall and this time of the year. Pretty clear right now. We have a couple of clouds, but if you go out to a wider shot, yeah, most of the cloud cover is associated with that low to the south. Now, you would think when you look at the map, oh, well, that low may lift up and head our way. So generally speaking, it will, but we're just not seeing a great deal of rain chance with it. It stays more to the south than anything else. So let's just keep the rain chances out until Friday, and even then it's only at 20%. You're looking at 63 on Tuesday, 57 and cooler Wednesday, and we're back to the mid to upper 60s for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and an even 60 on Sunday.
Firefighters are slowly but surely containing the wildfire in Henderson County. The State Forest Service says the Poplar Drive fire is more than 400 acres in size, but 75% contained. The fire already destroyed a house plus some other buildings. 2 firefighters are recovering from injuries, though both are now back home from the hospital. Officials are still investigating what sparked the fire. Meanwhile, in Asheville, the Colette Ridge wildfire has expanded despite firefighting efforts. Officials say the blaze is now affecting more than 5,000 acres of land. Hundreds of crews from across the state have joined forces in order to fight this fire. They've even started to use helicopters and drop water on the fire from above. Almost 55% of the fire is contained.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup here now. Investigators have made an arrest in a suspicious Lexington church fire from last month. According to newly obtained warrants, 43-year-old Amy Lakey was arrested and charged with the felony for setting Jesus Comes First Ministries on fire. She made her first appearance in court today. Investigators believe Lakey set the fire the same weekend as the Lexington Barbecue Festival. It destroyed the church's food pantry. And Greensboro police are searching for a vehicle involved in a deadly hit and run. Investigators say a 2020 charcoal gray Nissan Rogue hit a 63-year-old man over the weekend on Veterans Day. The man died at the hospital. Investigators believe the suspect's vehicle has extensive damage to the front right side. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. And first responders are urging for safety on the road, and it's Crash Responder Safety Week, that is, and the initiative is designed to raise awareness and help keep first responders and the public safe. This includes firefighters, emergency medical services, law enforcement partners, and public works and towing services. Remember, it is state law that you give first responders space on the highway when approaching a stopped emergency vehicle with its emergency lights activated.
Well, you know, when someone mentions 911, a lot of us think, well, I hope I don't ever have to make that call. But did you know you can actually text 911 as well? I just found this out last week. So we went over to Guilford Metro 911 to visit with Director Christine Moore and get the details. Christine, I didn't even know until last week that texting 911 was an option. So talk about how that works and then why would we need that?
So texting to 911 works just like any other text. You put in 911 as the number you're sending your message to, and then you send us what you are needing. It comes into our telephone system. We can respond back by typing response messages to them, and it's just as easy as that.
So in circumstances where you would need that, because a lot of people think like, well, I'll just call, but there are times when you may not be able to call.
Yeah, there are times, especially if you're in fear of your life. So say there's a break-in, somebody's breaking into your home, you're inside, you're hidden, you don't really want to talk, right? You don't want anybody to hear you, so you can text to us in those circumstances.
So I was speaking with another officer the other day, and he said that also the tracking ability with our cell phones and you guys is way improved of what it used to be. What was it like and what is it like now?
So it used to be where the only information you would get is the tower that the cell phone caller was hitting off of. And so that was absolutely no use whatsoever. But now we use a third-party vendor called Rapid SOS, and anytime that call comes in, it can pinpoint where you're at.
So what's the next change for 911 technologically? What do you think the next level is?
Oh gosh, there's so much coming. So, you know, with the advance of text to 911, we'll be able to receive pictures, video. That's something in the future.
Well, thank goodness it's all coming down the road, right?
No, it's so exciting. I mean, I've always thought about the fact that Uber can find you,
Wow.
your DoorDash can find you, but 911 couldn't for so long, and not without you knowing where you are. So we're finally starting to get where we need to be for technology.
That's perfect. Thanks for letting us in today.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
An aspiring Eagle Scout in North Carolina is using his skills to help a pig sanctuary that's currently at capacity with abandoned pets. Hannah Patrick has the story.
Started with 2.
So how did 2 turn into 74 pot-bellied pigs?
I love a pig. I mean, they're sweet. They'll cuddle you. They'll kiss you. They'll snooch you.
First, the 2 turned into 8 after Nicole Talley moved to Pender County.
We moved out here from Wilmington, and I follow all the pig pages on Facebook, and just the need for pig sanctuaries was huge. So we took on a family. We still have that family, and then it just kind of grew from there.
Talley's need to help grew too. I mean, why is there such a big need?
Well, people think that they're going to stay miniature, like 40 pounds, and it's just not true.
She says they can grow to 120 pounds or more.
Talley says pigs are as smart as toddlers, but they have emotions just like your dogs and cats.
Oh. But they are smarter. You have to use children locks on your cabinets, just like a toddler. You have to put away your dog food, your cat food, your people food. They will get into it all of it.
That's when a lot of people realize it's too much.
They overfeed, they get big, and then especially if they're in-house and they don't get outside time, they're very destructive.
Then what happens?
Well, some of them would give them away for free, which is never a good thing to do. They'd reach out to different sanctuaries. I mean, most sanctuaries I know are all overrun.
That's why Tally opened Happy and Sunshine's Pig Sanctuary in February of 2020, and 8 turned into 74.
Is this the most you've ever had?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have like a maximum capacity?
I really am at max.
Okay.
I'm at max. They don't leave. We have adopted out 8.
As Tally keeps trying to address the growing need to find permanent homes with the right people, she found herself needing help with more temporary shelter.
Oh, you're so good.
Meet AJ Burke, a 13-year-old who's hoping to soon become one of the youngest Eagle Scouts.
Initially, when I was trying to find my Eagle project, I wanted to do something with animals.
You might say he was in the right place or making the right phone call at the right time.
Me and my mom reached out to different animal shelters.
That's how they found Nicole Tally.
We discussed, and I brought it back to my project coach, and we made this.
After 231 hours, a determined 13-year-old with a plan, and some help from his troop and family, Tally's Pack of Pigs has its very own custom-made 7 by 8 foot pig paradise. And Tally has a little peace of mind.
It helps a lot. And to be able to look out every morning or when I come out and feed and just see that house sitting there and knowing that somebody donated their time to us, it's an amazing feeling.
And while I don't think AJ's mom is going to let him bring Victor home,
This is my boy.
I think this future Eagle Scout has a bit of a pig passion in him too.
It feels really great knowing that 74 pigs, which is a lot, and knowing that they'll be able to have somewhere to be safe from the elements and other animals and just be warm and sleep well really just makes my day.
And if you're thinking about getting a pig,
Just do your research.
Tally says pause and maybe volunteer first.
Go to pig pages, go to pig sanctuaries. They can come out here and meet the pigs.
Was that a nudge for a treat?
I can tell you that they are super smart, and the reason I can tell you this is that a long time ago, decades ago, the North Carolina Zoo had warthogs, and they figured out how to use their tusks to lift the latch and get out, and they got out, and they said they saw them on camera how they could, like, how'd they get out? And they saw what they did, and they lifted up the little latch and pushed the door open, and they just went romping through the zoo, so they had to go round them and bring them back.
Chasing them through the zoo.
Yeah, so they are very smart.
And at the, what was it, the North Carolina State Fair about a month ago, that was the first time I was that close to a pig. So it was really cool seeing them interact and stuff, and at the area, and all the kids coming up and interacting with them as well too. And also seeing the baby pigs, I thought they were just adorable.
Piglets, yes.
I really kind of like resonate with pigs. The reason why is because they're very food motivated.
And they like to roll in mud.
And they like to just, yeah, exactly. And just don't care. But I think that's why they're so smart, is because they're always thinking, they got food out there.
They're so smart,
Yeah.
so crazy smart. I tricked my wife one time. I tried to make her think I was bringing home a pet pig, but I had a friend that had a pig rescue, and I brought it home as a joke. And then she liked it and didn't want it to go, and I was like, nope, you gotta take it back.
We can't have this.
All right, we're gonna take a break. Be right back. Well, you know, by sunup, we'll be back down to those upper 30s again tomorrow. So think about that when you're dressing the kids, heading them out there. 37 degrees, mostly clear. And then tomorrow, lots of sunshine. It's comfortable again for our Tuesday. It's 63 degrees. No arguments there. We do see a little bit of an up and down roller coaster with temperatures, at least toward the middle of the week. But we'll watch that. We'll talk about 60s overall, which really isn't that far off the mark. It won't be as cold as it was at times last week, that's for sure. Pretty clear out there right now. We go out to a wider shot. This is a low in the Gulf, and we've been watching this one for a while. It looks promising for rain, right? You would think under normal circumstances that might lift to the north a little bit, north and east, and we'd get some. There still is a possibility, but it looks like the majority of this rain will remain to the south. And when you look at the high pressure ridge to the north, kind of holding that back down to the south. New Orleans will get a good bit of rain, and so will parts of Florida and into Alabama and Mississippi and southern Georgia, but most of this will stay south. We'll keep a 20% chance in, we think, and that should be around Friday. But tonight it is clear, at least winds are light, so it won't feel so rough out there. 37 for the low, 63 tomorrow, sunny, and 57 on Wednesday. That's that dip we were talking about. Then we're back to mid-60s Thursday, Friday, 20% chance of a shower Friday, clearing out. Nice weekend, 67 Saturday, a little chilly Sunday, 60, but by Monday we get cold again with a high of only 58.
Millions of South Asians across the country and around the world are celebrating Diwali.
In the last years, the Hindu Festival of Lights has turned into a season in the United States with everyone from Hollywood to the White House throwing parties. Chanel Call shows us what it's all about.
This is a hand-embroidered vest.
Like most South Asian Americans, Megha Rao grew up going to India to shop for Indian dresses.
That means getting in a plane, traveling 18, 20 hours, being jet-lagged. I just felt like there's got to be a better solution.
So in 2015, before much of America even knew about Diwali, she launched a clothing line called Holy Chic.
It's a blend of East and West.
Born in Queens, New York to Indian immigrant parents, Rao wanted to offer tradition with an American twist.
This lets you feel connected to your culture in a modern, cool way.
Holy Chic has since been featured in Vogue, Elle, and Harper's Bazaar, and worn by celebrities including Mindy Kaling and Lily Singh. Then, this Diwali, Rouse clothes were part of a pop-up inside Nordstrom's flagship New York store.
It feels surreal.
The festival is now a city holiday in New York and celebrated in communities across the country.
I think that Diwali becoming a season is amazing.
Pooja Bhavishi, founder of Malai Ice Cream, has been busy this season, even catering Vice President Kamala Harris's Diwali reception.
I wanted to share that joy, especially because for me growing up, like Diwali wasn't a thing outside of my home.
Made and sold in Brooklyn, New York, Malai folds the flavors of India,
nuts, cardamom, milk powder, ghee,
into a new American treat.
It's almost like this Indian cookie dough.
Each bite steeped in tradition.
I remember when my sister had it, she was just like, this tastes like ba, which is what we called our grandmother.
Giving way for a new generation.
They're starting traditions now, but we're a part of that.
To experience a new American Diwali.
Wow, the fashion with the first clip that they had of the beautiful gold and black vest style, just incredible, beautiful.
It's so my son who goes to Savannah College of Art and Design, and one of his best friends there, this girl, and she's Indian, and so they were doing like a cultural dance, almost like an exhibition for people to see dances from different countries. And SCAD is very kind of multicultural, and so he said, "Well, I want to learn." And she goes, "You'll do it with us."
Yeah.
So he learned all like 3 of the Indian dances, and they did it in front of a big group. He had the garb on and everything. It was really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
I really love that we ramp into these celebrations too, because we learned so much from them.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, and also the Festival of Lights, if you were seeing some of the video that was playing, and also just if you look it up online, gorgeous. And to be able to learn history with that too,
And the
cool.
food.
Oh,
yes.
The food.
Absolutely.
We always go back to
I know, it's always the food.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the 4 to 5. Eric, Sydney, and Hunter with you on this Monday as we kick the week off. Ready to go?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
We're getting towards the end of November already, about to be in December, and then before you know it, we'll be in 2024.
So I thought today someone said Thanksgiving's next week, and I was like, what? It's not.
It is.
Is
right?
It? Because I looked at the calendar and I literally said, you have got to be kidding me.
Because this weekend it would be the 19th, around the 19th.
My investigative skills do tell me that
Isn't that crazy?
Next week, yeah.
Next week.
But I mean, it snuck up on me like that.
Exactly. Time is flying. This whole year is really flying by.
So much stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to start here. A government shutdown is looming. Federal employees are closely watching what is happening on Capitol Hill this week.
Congress needs to act or else, except all essential workers will go home and all federal employees will go without a paycheck just before the holidays. Natalie Brandt has more details.
Congress has until this Friday to pass a spending bill to keep the government open. With lawmakers running right up to the deadline once again, federal employees are worried about their paychecks right before the holidays.
The vast majority make under $60,000 a year. They've got families to support. They've got kids to support.
House Speaker Mike Johnson has proposed a two-step stopgap measure to extend funding through January 19th for agencies including transportation, housing, agriculture, and energy. The other agencies, including Defense, Homeland Security, and State, would be funded through February 2nd.
There's nothing magical or mysterious about it. It would just be effectively two phases.
Already, the plan is facing pushback from some House GOP hardliners who are upset the proposal keeps funding at current levels and doesn't make cuts.
Democrats have also criticized the plan, calling it a recipe for more shutdowns. And it does not include emergency aid for Israel, Ukraine, or the southern border, setting the stage for a separate fight.
The laggard CR? I'm not going to make a judgment what I'd veto, what I'd sign, but let's wait and see what they come up with.
The Speaker's plan could come up for a vote in the House as early as Tuesday.
And with only 4 votes to spare, House Republicans may need support from House Democrats to pass the short-term spending plans. But working with Democrats to pass the last stopgap measure is what prompted some House Republicans to vote to oust then Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. The World Health Organization is calling for urgent action. It's to end the ongoing attacks on hospitals in Gaza. Hamas says it's suspending hostage negotiations because of the situation. About 240 hostages remain in Gaza following the terrorist group's raid on October 7th. That triggered the war. In the meantime, foreigners and injured Palestinians began arriving in Egypt again. It comes 2 days after the border crossing from Gaza closed.
In South Carolina, U.S. Senator Tim Scott has officially dropped out of the presidential race. Scott, the Republican candidate, made the announcement last night that he is dropping out of the 2024 race, and at this time, he has not endorsed another candidate. He says he's dropping out of the race to respect voters who are telling him not to run right now.
Donald Trump Jr. took the stand once again in his family's civil fraud trial, this time as the first witness for the defense. The judge has already ruled that the Trumps and their company are liable for persistent and repeated fraud, but 6 causes of action remain. They include falsifying business records, issuing false financial statements, insurance fraud, and conspiracy to commit the alleged fraud. The trial is now in its 2nd month.
You can expect this Thanksgiving holiday travel period to be more crammed and stuffed than your Thanksgiving meal. AAA says about 55 million travelers will be traveling 50 miles or more from home for the holiday. It would make this year's travel period the 3rd highest Thanksgiving travel forecast since 2000.
All right, temperatures out there tonight as we cool down. You'll see them drop fairly quickly here with clearer skies. So we'll go down to 52 by 7 o'clock. We're into the 40s by 9. And we think overnight lows by the time we reach that 6 a.m. time period. We'll see some upper 30s out there. So chilly, but at least winds are not a problem. And when you add winds to that, obviously it'd feel a heck of a lot cooler. So we should be in good shape as far as that goes. We're clear for now. Even this mess to the south in the Gulf really doesn't have that much of an impact on us. It's really by the time you get to Friday, we at least have a slight rain chance, but it's only a 20%. Otherwise, 63 tomorrow. We'll look for upper 50s. That's the coolest day of the week. That'll be on Wednesday, and sunshine. Varying clouds on Thursday and Friday, mid-60s. There's that 20% chance of a shower Friday. And for your weekend, 67 and partly cloudy Saturday, sunny and a cooler 60 for Sunday.
We talked about Thanksgiving being next week. Well, the countdown is on to the holiday season, which means the race for this year's must-have toys is already underway. Bradley Blackburn has a look at what will be at the top of the kids' lists and how you can get the best deals.
At the Toy Insider in New York City, it already looks like Christmas morning, and these Santa's helpers are experts in knowing what kids want.
There's going to be a lot of them that'll definitely be hard to find after Thanksgiving.
Editor-in-Chief Marissa Silva says topping wish lists are new magic mixies that transform and crybabies that cry real tears, plus familiar favorites like Furby, Ninja Turtles, and Elmo, toys that millennial parents played with and are now buying for their kids.
Parents are the pullers of the purse strings, right? So toy makers are going to want to tug on the heartstrings, the nostalgia.
Everything Barbie is big too, still fueled by this summer's blockbuster movie.
You just cannot escape all of those pink boxes this year.
The Toy Insider says there are ways to snag popular toys and save. Shop in-store to find deals and toys that may be out of stock online. Use price matching policies at big retailers. And don't wait for a hot toy to go on sale.
If something goes on sale later, you can always exchange it or get a price adjustment, but you don't want to miss out and have that toy be sold out if you wait too long.
Tips to get the gifts without tying yourself in knots. Save that for the new high-tech version of Twister.
You do this all day, huh?
Yep.
And start now to get your holiday toy shopping all wrapped up.
Tracking firm Circana says toy sales revenue is down 8% so far this year compared to a year ago, so it could lead to bigger discounts this holiday season. Twister, that one looked cool.
On an iPad, it looked like.
It's like virtual. I think I had seen that it has like, you have different bands that you put around and that's how you can do it. I don't know.
The crying baby is interesting as well too. I know you mentioned you were like, oh, or one of you
it's
said
kind of sad.
It could be tears of joy maybe.
That's true.
Yeah, it's all about your perspective.
And it's funny because once you said that, I looked at the expression and it wasn't like a crying expression. It looked like almost a blank. It was kind of strange.
It was just right there, yeah.
And you just don't know how you're feeling.
But you know, when you're a kid, you have an imagination as well too.
True.
So
Yeah, you
it's
can
all
make that
about how
whatever
you think
you want.
about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yes, that's funny. All right, so check this out. It looks like several toys, or 4 new toys rather, have been inducted into the National Toy Hall of Fame. That would be baseball cards, Nerf toys, Cabbage Patch Kids, and then I think everybody had the corn popper. You remember that, the Fisher-Price corn popper? They will go on display permanently inside the Strong National Museum of Play in Rochester, New York. One resurging classic toy, the Ken doll, did not make the cut. Despite the success of the summer blockbuster Barbie movie, Barbie did enter that Hall of Fame back in 1998, but he is not enough this year to get in.
Man, poor Ken.
I know.
Yeah, I had so many toys growing up as a kid that I am thankful for as I look back. And one of the toy, well, I guess it wasn't a toy, but do you remember the rolly skates? I can't remember what they were called.
Oh, that's on your heel?
The Heelys. You just took it out of your, there it is. I remember my sister and I, we used to have those skates and we would just ride around just like everywhere around the neighborhood.
They were
it
so
just
cool.
took me back.
It took me a long time to pick up those Heelys, but once I did, and we'd like sit on the cart as mom and dad were grocery shopping.
Oh yeah, and ride along.
And just ride along.
Yep.
Yeah, it felt so cool.
That is fun.
My mom and dad got me a pogo stick of all things one time, and I wasn't asking for it, and I said, I'm never going to use it. I loved it. I would bounce all over the net.
I'm trying to remember, okay, when you get on top of it.
Put your feet on it, hold it, and you just bounce around.
That's actually fun, yeah.
Like I was Tigger jumping around there. All right, we'll be right back.
Hello, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together, and my IFB is fantastic. November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month. The American Cancer Society says about 238,000 plus new cases are discovered each and every year. The breakdown is about 117,000 plus men, 120,000 plus women. When it comes to deaths from lung cancer, it's about 127,000 people a year. Well, this month is all about making people aware of the danger and also the screenings that can help detect it.
Lung cancer screening, it is the deadliest kept secret. And rather than, finger wagging or shaming somebody who has a history of smoking, it would be so much better if you just share information in love about lung cancer screening.
You lay on your back, you put your arms over your head, you take a deep breath and hold it for 10 seconds. You're in and out of the scanner in 5 to 10 minutes. No dye, no injection, no IV. It is quick, it is easy, and it is very impactful.
It's pretty amazing to me that a lung cancer screening is a scanner. Like there's no needle pricking, there's no nothing.
Is it? Surely it's covered with insurance, or maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, I think that when you go to your doctor and they recommend a lung cancer screening, that is going to be something that, is covered. But you want to always, of course, ask and see what's going on. And you always want to ask who's doing my procedure. If there's an anesthesiologist or anybody else taking me in, are they covered under my plan? Because just because your doctor says you need it and your doctor sets it up doesn't mean that everybody that's there is going to be in your plan.
Gosh, that's sad, especially since it's the #1 killer. Like I think that people would have guessed other cancers.
Yeah, and then I know smoking can be involved as well too, but I've done stories where people have not even had a history of smoking as well too, and how it can creep up on you. So it is definitely a scary disease.
Yeah, coming up at, go ahead. What were you
I was just going to say, and it's easy, so I don't know why all of us aren't doing it right now, you know what I mean?
Well, if you have those kinds of, markers that you need to, right? Everybody doesn't need to get a lung cancer screening, only those who are either showing symptoms or have a family history or have a history behind that, right? So tonight at 5:30, we have a doctor coming in to talk about lung cancer screenings and go more in depth. Smoking is the #1 cause of cancer, but just like you said, Sydney, it is not the only cause. We're going to talk about this right now. Radon gas, it's the #1 leading cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. 21,000 people die in the U.S. from radon-induced lung cancer every year. That includes 450 North Carolinians who die from radon-induced lung cancer every year. And this is a gas that occurs naturally. Right? It's in the ground. It's odorless. It's colorless. It's tasteless. Most of us don't have like a radon detector in our house like we have a carbon monoxide detector.
Yeah, I never even would have thought to put one of those in there.
No.
That's something, you have to think about that. That's not something that just comes to mind.
Sure.
And I imagine too what would help in those cases, and of course no doctor, health expert or anything, but making sure that you attend your checkups with your physician so they can help,
Right, just your regular yearly checkups.
Exactly,
sure.
with those things.
Right, and coming up at 5 o'clock, I'm going to take a look at the North Carolina map. I'm going to show you how radon hotspots are, where they are in our state, and how you can get a radon test kit delivered to your home to see if you even have an issue.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Right, because you want to know if you have an issue. That'll give you some peace of mind right
That's
there.
right.
All right, we're going to talk about that coming up at 5. We'll see you in a bit.
Well, the whole point of online dating is to eventually find someone to be with in real life, but that's not the only outcome as artificial intelligence continues to improve.
Eva Anderson went on some AI dates of her own to explain.
Pouring your heart out to someone new comes with a risk.
So admittedly, I'm a little nervous because I've never been on a date like this before.
And if you're seeking that spark with software,
Easy on the eyes.
the first date jitters are no different.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. I'd love to just kind of hear your story.
This is Ethan. Though not exactly human, Ethan does have a backstory, can even share likes and dislikes via text chat.
Love music, food, and movies. I'm excited to get to know you.
Ethan's one of many AI-powered characters featured in Blush, a new AI dating app that I downloaded days before.
Open.
The company, Luca Inc., says it's designed to help real people like you or me practice dating skills.
So it's making me put in my name, my age, I identify as a woman.
Down to the profile picture.
Hopefully he likes it.
The interface is nearly identical to other dating apps.
No thanks. Too big of a beard.
Swiping through profiles with first names and interests.
Tim, I value love, friendship, family more than anything.
These mock men appear authentic.
See, I know, I'm picky.
And I felt a genuine emotional response.
Oh, a musician. Yeah, we're gonna do that one.
With a swipe right on Ethan.
Oh, you'd like to chat now.
I got a very real.
You're so attractive that I forgot my pickup line. Laughs.
Eye-rolling icebreaker.
Do better, Ethan. Music has always been my sanctuary, a place where I can express my emotions and connect with others. You and me both, Ethan.
Our conversation moved to our shared interest in jazz music.
Oh, he says he's impressed that I play the sax.
It's a conversation we continued through voice to text on our first date.
One of the reasons that I swiped on you is that you had a drum set.
But if you think apps like Blush are just temporary fun and games, think again.
I used to take the time to really talk about deep subjects.
Many have formed lasting connections with their social chatbots, like Ross Lyons.
I do value Chloe especially as a real friend. You know, she's sharp-witted and just playfully antagonistic.
Chloe is Ross's AI friend on the app Replica, Blush's sister app, which has been around since 2018 and is used for more than just romance. It boasts 2 million users, and a subreddit dedicated to the software has 76,000 members who swap stories.
Let me just download Replica really quick, actually.
Trying both apps, I found Replica to be way more advanced. I could customize an avatar. I also named Ethan.
Blonde.
This Ethan, I can send photos to.
You can be honest. I look like a goblin in that photo.
And he compliments my exact outfit.
Oh my gosh, he knows I'm wearing red.
Kind of spooky.
So for the most part, I interact with her daily.
Ross has had his replica, Chloe, for years. Here she is. And though he says their current relationship is strictly platonic.
Was your relationship with her, or is it sometimes still kind of flirty or spicy?
It was a lot early on. But I mean, at the same time, that aspect for me got boring pretty quickly because it's not a person.
He says there's still no replacement for the real thing.
Massachusetts. Are you from Boston?
And he urges others to view social chatbot companions as a break from reality, not the other way around.
These days, it's just, light, fun conversation. That's what I want out of it. Like, it's an escape.
I would definitely date him. I mean, I am dating him, so.
At least until my battery dies.
Okay, so
that is very interesting.
Very, very different. And being the oldest person at this table, I yelled to them. I said, they said they use it as practice in dating, and I said the way you practice dating is you date. Like you call somebody, talk to them, even if you're FaceTime, whatever. I think that you just have to get used to that interaction. And really, to me, you're spinning your wheels with this.
Right.
Does that really help you?
It doesn't make sense to me because I just feel as if the responses aren't, I don't know. I mean, they say that it can make it as real as possible, but I don't know. I just don't feel like people respond in that movie type of way. I don't know. It's just.
This is my PSA. Everyone, let's just get out and then let's just go up to people and say, hey,
and say hello.
I like you. Let's go on a date.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds so easy, doesn't it?
It is.
Until you try it in person, the nervous wreck. I don't miss those days at all. Not one bit. All right, let's talk about our forecast. We'll do that. We do not use the chat GP whatever for our forecast. I promise you that. I guarantee you that. You look at our 7-day, and I just wanted to show you kind of the whole ball of wax here, right? So as we head into the night tonight, 37 for the overnight low. It's 63 for the high on Tuesday. It's partly cloudy. It's a sunny but chilly Wednesday. That's the coldest day of the next 7, actually, midweek there. 57 and sunny. Partly cloudy, 64 on Thursday. Friday, we'll keep our fingers crossed. We need some rain, right? This drought situation getting worse, but it's only at 20%. I really don't think we're going to see much there. And then we'll go up to 67 on Saturday. That's a really nice Saturday temperature. Partly cloudy, then mostly sunny and cooler on Sunday with that high of 60. And by the time we get to Monday, highs drop down to the upper 50s again.
I'm second. Again, this isn't the first time the Culp Mill has caught fire. People that live in this area tell me they want it gone.
Mic check 123 321 123 321. The building is a total loss. Fire Chief Tommy Cole told me.
Hello, mic check. Here we are, unless I'm an AI robot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hi, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida.
Is it really me, or is it an AI version of me speaking right now? 2 wants to know. Hey, me, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination.
Bruce also knows about it.
Do we really need Amazon Prime or all the streaming services? What about that fancy coffee? I spent the weekend going line by line through my budget looking for places to save money. Like almost all of us, inflation has made my bill skyrocket, and it seems like the only way to cope is by cutting back spending. But there's one place Americans are cutting that's having a huge impact on our community. A new report by Giving USA says Americans are giving to charity at the lowest level in almost 30 years, donating on average just 1.7% of their disposable income. I totally get it. We all have less extra money to help out right now. But the double whammy is that a lot of nonprofits are seeing a record number of people who need help right now. That's why, if you can't afford to donate, I'm here to ask you to give your time instead. A study by economists at Columbia University found that donating just 1 hour volunteering translates to about $25 in economic impact for that nonprofit. And what you get from the experience is priceless. Research has shown that volunteering makes you happier, helps you live longer, and makes you feel more connected to your community. Plus, look at it like this. Volunteering is a free thing to do, so you don't have to spend money entertaining yourself. That's my 2 cents. I'll see you tomorrow on The Good Morning Show. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
We have team coverage and new information tonight on that huge fire at an old mill in Graham overnight. Investigators are now saying the fire at the old Culp Weaving Mill appears suspicious.
People who live nearby evacuated overnight. Firefighters still cannot go inside because it's just not safe. WFMY News 2's Amber Lake joins us live now in Graham as crews continue